Morning to my class 11 students. So yesterday, what did we finish? We finished with our phylum Ctenophora. Ctenophora, which are also known as comb jellies, and we saw that there are 8 comb plates which are arranged in a particular rows. Because of that, name is given to the phylum, that is Ctenophora, means comb like structure. And today we are moving towards our another phylum, the next phylum, that is Platyhelminthes. When we say Platyhelminthes, this is derived from, actually this word derived from two things. That is, first, platy. Let's see the what do you mean by platy. Platy means flat worms. So why they are known as platyhelminthes? Because their body is dorso-ventrally flat. That is the reason they are commonly, their name is, they are known as flat worms also, due to their dorsiventral flattened body, means आगे or back, front or back side, it's completely flat. Its body is flat. As you can see in the planaria, body is completely flat. So if you are asked about a kingdom, that is, which kingdom in the members they have flat body, or you can say no segmentation, then Platyhelminthes is one of them. Sometimes because of tapeworm body, few students they have doubt regarding the segmentation. No, Platyhelminthes, they are having very dorso-ventrally flattened body. That is the reason they are also known as flatworms. Now, one interesting thing here about their habitat, it is different from others. Habitat is, they are endoparasites. They are endoparasites. It means they live inside the other's body. They live inside the host. But one example which is free living, that is planaria. So in the habitat, they are mostly members, they are endoparasite. One member which is free living also, that is, you can quote the example planaria. Now four I will say points which you need to understand about this group. It is the first animal group. First animal group. From we started with the phylum Porifera. Then we talked about cnidarians, that is coelentrates. Then we move on to Ctenophora, and now this is the first animal group which we are talking today, which show bilateral symmetry. So whenever you are solving your objective questions, please be very confident about Ctenophora, cnidarians and sponges, that they are having radial symmetry. These are the first group in which bilateral symmetry is observed. Second feature which is observed first time in this group, that is, which starts from this group, you can say, that is triploblastic nature. It means during the body development, 3 germ layers are involved: ectoderm, endoderm, as well as mesoderm. And the level of organization they show, that is the organ system level of organization is observed here. So first animal group with bilateral symmetry, triploblastic in nature, as well as they are acoelomates, means if we draw the outer body wall and inside gut wall, then there's this space which we say cavity, it is completely filled with the cells, and these cells, this cavity is filled with the cells which are known as as parenchyma cells. These cells, they are known as parenchyma cells. The most important thing which is observed here in this group, in this phylum, the first time head formation starts. Although this head is not very specialized one, but if you can see here, at least there is head formation starts, and this is called cephalization. So triploblastic, bilateral symmetry, organ system level of organization, and they are acoelomates. If we talk about if we go by now system and system, then first let's take excretion. They are a monotelic, means they release their nitrogenous waste in the form of ammonia, and to eliminate this waste they have a very special type of cells, and these special type of cells, they are known as flame cells, or they are known by the name solenocytes, or these flame cells are also known as protonephridia. Very primitive system, excretory system, which is observed in platyhelminthes, that is the protonephridia, and the cells, they are also known as flame cells or solenocytes. If we draw these flame cells, then we will observe that these in this structure there is, you will find this cytoplasm and nucleus. There is cilia which are arising from your basal granules, and these cilia, they are main locomotory, play main function in the locomotion. Now this movement of cilia, when these cilia they move, then it appear like flickering of flame. जैसे फ्लेम जलती ऐसे हिलती है हवा से, बिल्कुल वैसे नज़र आते हैं ये भी these cilia. Because of these movement of cilia, these cells, they look like the flickering of flame. They appear like flickering of flame. So therefore these cells, they are known as flame cells. So basically all complete nitrogenous waste, they enter into these flame cells, and then it is thrown out from the body through this tube. So this is about their excretory system. They are a monotelic, and the speciality or their characteristic feature is they are having flame cells or solenocytes, which are also known as protonephridia. Now because they are of their habitat, if we see at their look at their habitat, they are endoparasites, means they live inside other organisms body. So they do not have particular very developed digestive system because they are endoparasites. But we just discussed the example of free living platyhelminthes. What is the example? That is planaria. Planaria is free living form. So it is in its digestive system in the form of blind sac plan. What is blind sac plan? It is an incomplete digestive system. First lecture वहाँ पे जाना पड़ेगा. What is incomplete digestive system? क्या होता है? जिसमें सिर्फ only one opening is there, mouth and anus. They are not separate, one opening for inlet and outlet of food. This type of body plan or you can say this type of digestive system plan is known as blind sac plan. Nervous system, it is ladder like. There is a very interconnection of these nerve fibers which are interconnected to each other, and these, because of this interconnection, they look or appear like a ladder. So it is a bunch of nerve fibers. As such, no highly specialized neurons are developed. They are having network of nerve fibers. Then reproductive system, if we talk about last system, they are bisexual. They are hermaphrodite. and it means both sex organs, they are present in one body. You cannot say you have seen male tapeworm, female tapeworm. No. Fertilization, internal. Development, both. You can see indirect and direct. Direct, in which no larval stage is observed, that is planaria. As well as planaria, it regenerate through the asexual mode of reproduction also. Indirect reproduction, development is indirect development, not reproduction. Indirect development is observed in tapeworm, in which larval stage will be there. Indirect का मतलब ही यही होता है जहाँ पे larval stage is there, which is very different from the young stages, and or you can say adult stage. Direct development is observed in planaria, and it is one of the member which has high, very high regeneration capacity. Examples of this group you can write down: Taenia solium, tapeworm, and Fasciola, which is liver fluke. This is a tapeworm body, and this is the free living form, that is your planaria, right? And one very important thing about this group I want to discuss, another important point, that parasitic forms, जो parasitic forms होती हैं, like lukewarm, liver fluke, and not lukewarm, liver fluke and your tapeworm, they are parasitic forms. They have very specialized structures. In parasitic forms, they are observed, that is hooks and suckers. Why they need hooks and suckers? Because they absorb nutrients from host directly through their body surface. So they need hooks and suckers, which help them in absorption of nutrients from the host. Will hooks and suckers you will observe in free living forms? No. Free living forms, they do not have hooks and suckers. They are specific characteristic of parasitic forms of Platyhelminthes. So these are all the general characteristics which we observe in the Platyhelminthes. This is our next fourth group phylum which we have discussed today, and the next we will discuss about the Aschelminthes tomorrow.